Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mevishir, your coach, and I am back once again with an inspiring story, with a survivor story. Guys, today's guest was on my podcast a few weeks ago, and while she was sharing her story, she was feeling overwhelmed. That is why I had to stop that podcast and give her some space and a few weeks for her to feel better and connect with herself. Today she is ready to share the rest of her story with us. I'm so happy and proud of her for coming forward in this space and sharing what she went through. An incredible story with an incredible woman. Let me bring her on, guys, and let us begin.
Hello.
Hi, how are ya?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Long time, huh?
I know. Yes, long time. But here with kids, they were sick as well, and
I
the
know. How
cold
are they
because we
doing now?
not too bad now. Like my little one was sick nearly 2 weeks now, but it's coughing mainly, you know. But now with the COVID things and all, like little bit cough, they said, okay, you have to stay in and
Right.
just she
Is
wasn't
it
in
the
school.
change of weather, maybe, right?
Yeah, we're starting like we were in autumn, so now we're going
Yeah.
to start winter soon. So yeah.
Yeah, we're just starting with autumn at my side, and with the smog increasing, everybody's getting the cold, the weird feeling in the body and stuff like that. Anyway, let's dive into our conversation. I know the last time we left on was we were talking more about your relationship with your dad and how it had
Yeah.
impacted your marriages.
Yeah.
So over to you, Meena.
Yeah, last time we were talking about what I've been through since I was like a teenager and how my childhood was as well, and then how it was with my relationship. I think I did mention like I was married twice, I think.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I came to Ireland. Then, yeah, when I came to Ireland, I was I came to Ireland through an agency to do study. Like I came to study English, but that study English was just like the gate to come in, like just to open the gate to come here, like to run away from home, like you know, because the culture and the family life. So that
Meena,
was
I want
it.
to stop there. I want you to stop there. For those of you who are listening to you for the first time, guys, she's sharing her story. She's already shared part one. And just a little summary, she was married with her first husband. It didn't work out. It was highly toxic. He was abusive. And even though everybody knew in her family, whenever there was a mistake, even her mom would tell her to go and apologize. And she had to every time apologize and go back to her husband till eventually things didn't work out, and she came to her mom's house. She had her child there, and now she's telling that she's moved to Ireland, and she's married a second time, and how the things are going to be from this part onwards.
But yeah, no, I was married second time back in my country.
Right.
And again, like that didn't work because the second marriage was like he wasn't interested into marriage to me just to be like having a wife, but it was like to have someone to mind her mother because he had an elderly mother and life was tough being there because once we got married and I started to live with his mother, so he wouldn't be coming in the house, he would be staying out, and he had another, well, he bought another house and he was doing like renovation, and he would stay there and I would be staying with the mother, and the mother was like in her 70s, and she was very fussy. She was very like the worst mother-in-law to have anyway, because she was like, when I was there, I remember I wasn't allowed to even step in the kitchen, and even if I go in the shower, I was only allowed to shower for 5 minutes. If I don't, she go outside and turn the water from outside, and she will come in because the bathroom didn't have the key or anything. So it's just like you close. and she'll turn the water off, whether you have soap on you or not, that's not a problem. And she'll come and open the door and say, like, what do you think you're doing, wasting water? And then, like, I will have to say, okay, please open the water tap from outside so I'll be able to rinse myself. And you have to, and then even in the morning, like if you don't get up at 6 o'clock, she will come and open the door and pull the blanket off you and say to you, like, what do you think you did all night that you are not sleep, like you're still sleeping? So it was tough. And one day I talked to my second husband and I said, but the good thing about getting married to the second husband, it wasn't legal. It was just like the marriage.
Okay.
So it wasn't like getting married into the civil office, you know. So then one day I asked him and I said to him, like, why did you marry me if you didn't really, because he was the one who put the proposal to my family, like, you know. So then he said to me, well, I can't deal with my mother myself because I can't live with her. So I can't even leave her alone, because people will say that he left his mother when his mother is old. So he wanted to get married to me to look after his mother. So then I said to him, like, you could have paid someone, but you see, like, when they get married, you don't have to pay. You're getting it for free. So that was the reason. And the fact is, because it was my second wedding and it was hard for me, it wasn't hard, it was a no for me to leave a second marriage and come back to my parents. So it was like in a way, my parents got me married the second time just because of their honor and their dignity and things like that. But for me to get married second time and come back, that was a no. So then I remember one time I was like, it was tough because his mother, like my ex-husband mother, was very, very rude, and she was very bad towards me, like, you know, and she didn't like me because I already had a son, but they didn't allow me to bring my son to live with me. My son was living with my mother. So life was hard and I couldn't put up, like, I was married in June. So I stayed like until October, end of October. And then I said, like, I can't put up with this anymore. And then I tried to suicide myself. But those days, like, I think I was 20, 22 or something like that. 22, I think I was. And I remember there was a bottle of whiskey there and there was lots of tablets. So I just took all the tablets. I think it was around 15 to 20 tablets. I didn't know. For me, in my head was like, I don't want to live anymore. So I just took that, and there was a bottle of whiskey which wasn't full, but it must be like 3/4 of it, and I just drink it, you know. And then I said, like, that's it. And because I'm not getting support from anywhere, my mother don't want me back, I don't have my son with me, and here my husband doesn't live with me, and my mother-in-law is just like treat me like a slave, like, you know. And it's like you have to do the hard work, and then the end of the day you get a meal, you know, and you're not even allowed to cook or anything. But then I did that, and then the next morning I woke up, and when I woke up and I said, like, oh my God, like, even God doesn't want me, and I was so upset. And I rang. There was kind of a neighbor, but not really where I used to live, but where I used to work. She was living behind there, and I said to her, and that's the first time I rang her, because we were friends when I was working, but then we didn't have the like communication. But then I rang her and I said to her, like, that's going on, that's what's happening. And then she said to me, Mina, you shouldn't do something like that. Why would you take your life for someone else? So then she was the one who said to me, okay, leave it with me. I'll try and do something for you. And then she had a friend now, a male friend that she contacted and talked about. And then that guy called me and said to me, and I knew him because I was doing Reiki when I was young. We were doing Reiki, so we were in a group. So I knew him from there, but we didn't have contact. So then he said to me, why would you do something like that? You shouldn't like take your life for someone else, because it's your life. Nobody owns you. And then he said to me, like, I can talk to one of my friends that he has an agency and he does send like people abroad. So I said, okay. And then he said to me, would you be able to afford? And I said, look, I don't work, but my ex-husband was kind of a businessman, like, you know, but not really big business. He was buying like loads of what you call that, jeans and clothes from a factory, and then he was doing like kind of a retailer, and that was a job I was doing with him as well. But he was, oh, and he used to have black money because he was selling euro in the black market. You know, he was selling euros, and then when he will bring like now in my country rupees, he will bring like 200,000, 300,000. Sometimes he tie it in a bag, then he bury it, you know, on the flowers, and then sometimes he put on the mattress. So for me, because I was working as a bus conductor, and I was getting 10,000 rupees every month, but he stopped me work. So then I said to him, like, I don't have money, but there is loads of money in the house, you know. And then he said to me, well, he took you as a slave, he married you, he betrayed you, you don't have your kids, so don't worry, just take that money. And I feel like, yes, why not? Because instead of me taking my lives, is where I just take that money and leave. So it was a Saturday, and then I took my bag, and I think there was around 3,500 euro, which is a big amount of money, like in my country, you know, like it was like maybe 300,000 at that time. So I just took it and I left. I went to one of my auntie. I couldn't go to my mother because I know he will come and look for me. So I went to one of my auntie, and that was a Saturday. And the guy said to me, do you mind if the agent, the man, called you? And I said, okay. And then the guy called me and said, can you come to my office? So I did go to his office, but my mother went with him. And then he explained to me that to go abroad, you will have to pay for school and go, because that's how you have to go as a student. And I said, okay. And he said to me, do you have a passport? And I said, yes, I do. So I gave him my passport, and I didn't have a clue what I'm doing. I didn't have no clue. So I gave him everything. I gave him the money. So it's just like I trust him, you know. So I gave him the money on Saturday, and then he said to me, leave it with me. And then on Monday morning, I think it was around 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, he came. He didn't ask me to come to him. He came to my auntie. Like we were living up the note. And then he did drive, and he came there, and it was between 10 to 12 o'clock he came. And then he gave me my passport. He gave me my flight ticket, and he said to me, you're going to Ireland tonight. And I said, wow, because I left on Saturday, and then I had only Sunday, and Monday he came in the morning, and he said, everything is ready, you're going. And I said, where? And I had no clue about Ireland. Where is Ireland? What is Ireland? Who I'm going to? I had no clue, because I never heard of Ireland in my life, you know. I only knew like England and France, nothing else, like Africa, America, Australia, but Ireland I never heard. So he said to me, okay, you're going to go to Ireland tonight, and you have to go to the airport around 10 o'clock. And it was kind of like something happened, like just in a blink of an eye. Like I couldn't understand what's going on, what's happening. So I just, I said, okay. And I had a suitcase as well, because when I was working in the shop with my ex-husband, we did travel to India once. And we were traveling to Réunion Island, like business purpose. So I had my passport, I had my suitcase, which was like, I was lucky, you know. So I just packed my clothes, whatever clothes I had, I packed. And I remember he said to me, it's a bit cold, because I came in November, and November is like winter, is the start of winter. And he said to me, it's going to be a bit cold, so just have a proper like jacket on. And you know, like in my country, we never had like really warm jacket, because we don't feel that. So I came with the slippers, because I had no trainers, never wear trainers, never wear boots. We only wear like slippers, like, you know. And I had a slippers. I had no socks on, had a jeans, I had a top, and just a cardigan, not even a jacket. And when I came to France, like I did like, and then I left home around 9:30. My father and my mother came to drop me to the airport. But that it was like, everything was in a shock. I couldn't understand what's going on, what's happening, you know. It's just like, just going with the flow. And I didn't have any feelings, because I think at that time I froze, you know. I have no clue what's going on, and I just froze, and I was like just dragging along it. So then when I came to France, and I remember everyone because we had to do the transit, whatever it's called. And everyone was looking at me, because it was freezing. Everyone had hats, scarves, gloves, like they had coats on, boots on, trainers on, and I had on jeans and slippers on. So everyone was, and I was shaking. So I still remember. But then, so then I came to Ireland, and I was collected by a girl who who the agent has contacted for me to come. So I came to Ireland in November. It was the first week of November, and I went to their place. And then that's like one part is over, and then now it was like now I woke up now I'm in Ireland, and that's his island. Then I look like okay, it's near England. So then when I came, she was living with one of her cousin, and it was a boy. And he said to me that, okay, how much money did you bring? Like pocket money. So I said I brought 1,500 euro. And then he said to me, okay, so here when you come to Ireland, then he started to explain because I had no clue. So he said to me, you are going to go to a college, you're going to study English, and then you are going to pay rent here. So you're going to have a room, and for that room is 500 euro. So you have to give us 1 month advance plus a month payment. So I had to give him 1,000 euro. So then I didn't give him because I came, like it was nearly afternoon when I came to him. So they just talked to me. So I had to give him the money the next day. So then I was thinking like giving him 1,000. I had only 1,500. So giving him 1,000 euro. And then next month I had to give him another 500. So after that, where I will get money to pay the rent? So that's mean my 1,500 will be gone in 2 months. And it's not easy. Like as soon as I came, a country that I don't know, I have no contact or anything for me to find a job, you know. So then he said to me, okay, we will, because I think I came on a Tuesday, but then I had to go and register for my visa and all for school. So then I called my mother and I said to my mother that, look, they are asking me that amount of money. So then I started to say to my mother what's going to happen, like if I don't have money. So then she said to me that my sister was married by then anyway. So my brother-in-law had a sister who lived in Ireland as well, but we never had contact with her. We know her. So my mother said, like, I'll find her number from your sister and I'll give it to you. You might contact her. And they did. And then I did call her and I said to her, look, maybe you know I came to Ireland and the guy is asking me that much money. And then she said to me, oh my God, that's too much. You can't give 1,000 euro. You know? So then she said to me, come to me. She said to me, you come to me, where I live, you pay only 150. So then you have to think, of course, instead of giving 1,000 euro, I have to give 150. So I didn't think again. And I said, like, and I don't have to give like a deposit or anything. So 150 euro, I have to give instead of 1,000. So I have loads of money left. For me, that was loads of money. So I said, okay. And without letting the people there, because they were not home, I was alone home. So my sister-in-law came. Well, she's my sister-in-law, but she came and then she said to me, okay, pack your stuff and let's go. So I packed my stuff and everything and I went with her. And the house that she was living in, there was her husband was there, and there was 2 child and there was another 7 men. You know, there was only men in the house. But she was okay because she was living with her husband. So the house was only 3 bedroom, and 1 bedroom was for her and her husband. 1 bedroom was for the 2 kids. There was 2 boys, was age 9 and 13 or something. And the other room had bunk beds, and the man was sleeping in there. So when I came, he said, "You're going to share room with them 2 boys, because we don't have any other room," which I did. And then she said to me, well, you don't have a wardrobe and you don't have your own room. So you leave your luggage with me, because I have a room and I have a key for my room, which I did. I say, okay. And then she said to me, because I came to Ireland on a Tuesday. So by this time, all this happened was already like Thursday. And then she said to me, I am working. So Monday, I'll take you to the bank and open your bank account, because we need to have a bank account to be a student and pay all your visa and costs.
Okay.
So I said, okay. And then when it was, so Thursday, Friday, she went to work. Saturday, she went to work. And Sunday, she left. I didn't know. And she just take her suitcase. She take everything. She took my 1,500 euro and she left. And I was like, because, you know, the thing is, like, I didn't know they are leaving, you know, because somehow they must have took their suitcase at night time or something, because the husband was driving. And then when she took my money and left, and I said, now what I'm going to do? I was shocked again, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I rang my mother, and at that time I was like, I have no one to talk. I had to ring my mother, and my mother contacted my brother-in-law and my sister, and that again, it felt like because of me, there was problem going in my sister married life, because they didn't believe that like my sister mother-in-law didn't believe that her daughter would do something like that. My brother-in-law as well didn't think that her sister's going to do something like that. So they did contact her and said to her, give me now her money back. And then she said, what proof does she have that I took her money? You know?
Gosh.
So then I was in a house with 7 men, and there was 2 boys, and I didn't know what to do. But the guy who was a main responsible person of that house, who was paying, because normally in Ireland you rent a house and then you are the one who look for people to come and rent, but he will be the main person to pay the rent and to look after everything else. So then he said to me, look, I know what she did was wrong, and at that time he did help me in a way. He took me to a solicitor and like to a lawyer, and then tried to get that money back. And the lawyer did contact that girl and said, like, look, we heard you have took the money. If you don't give that money back, I will put you into trouble. You will be into trouble here. And maybe she got scared. And then she said, because she already went and used that money to rent another place, so she don't have that money in one go to give. So she's going to give maybe 500 euro. And then after that, she will give 500 euro. But again, it wasn't me who went to the lawyer. It was the guy who was in the house. So when the guy was dealing with a lawyer, so whenever the lawyer was contacting to get the money back, he didn't tell me. He went and got the money for himself.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so he went and got the money for himself, and he didn't tell me, and I have no clue what's going on behind my back. So then then one day he said to me, okay, your sister-in-law didn't give all the money back, and she's going to give like in 2 times. But then I said, like, okay, and then he said, well, you're going to stay here, so I'm going to keep the money, and we'll deduct your rent and the bills and the food as well. So he said to me, you don't have anything to worry. You just go to your school, and that's how it's going to be. And I couldn't, give my money back, because in a way it was like, if he didn't go to the lawyer, I would still not get the money back. And he had to pay the guy, the lawyer, like, the solicitor, he had to pay for him. So from the 1,000 he got, I think he had to pay 200 or something. So he got only 800 euro back. So he took it, but he didn't get it in one go. He got it in 2 months. So in the beginning, everything was okay. He did give me a bus ticket as well. And he always used to do shopping, and there was food there that you can cook and eat. So in the beginning, like first week, 2 weeks was okay. I went to school, came, and cooking, and then of course if I'm eating in the house and cooking, and I have to do cleaning, I have to do all the dishes. But then as the time started to go on, it was like I was the one to wash all the dishes, even whoever is cooking. There were 7 men in the house. I have to clean the whole house. I have to clean the bathroom, the shower. Then I have to cook as well for everyone. And it was like, it happened that I didn't have even the bus ticket to go to school. So when I said to him, like, I don't have bus ticket to go to school, he started to say, I don't have money. He said, I don't have money, so you can't go to school. So I couldn't go to school. I was staying home. So then, like, the time, like, it was in November. So November till February, I stayed there, and he started abusive. And I remember one day I was cooking, I was frying some vegetable, and I didn't, because in my country when we cook, I don't put garlic and ginger. And I just put the oil and put the onions to fry it, and I put the vegetable. And he said to me, oh my God, how can you cook something like that? You don't put garlic and ginger. And he took the whole pot from the fire and he threw it in the bin.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and then he started to hit me, like slowly was like, lift something and throw at me, lift something and throw at me. So he started to hit me. And again, one time, I will say, one time I had my period and I needed pads, and I said, like, I have no money. and how to even ask. So then I had to ask him, and I said, look, I know you have took the 800 euro, but I'm not living here for free. You have my money there. He said to me, what money? You know, and then he said to me, if I didn't go to the lawyer, you wouldn't even have money here. You know, and I was like, but still, you got the money. So that means the money that 800 you took from me and 150 is for rent. You have more money like than you were supposed to take from me. But
Right.
that doesn't mean that I'm eating for free or you are giving me bus ticket for free, because that money is with you. And whenever I need some personal things for myself, because I'm a woman, I need things like I need pads and all. And he said to me, do you think the money is still here? You eat every day, all day here. And he started to like abusing me. And then he said to me, you eat every day. I don't have money. So then I had to find like my own knickers. I had to fold it and use. But then there was a guy who heard, you know, because there were so many men in the house. And then he came from work and he bought me two packets and came. And I was like, I never felt so embarrassed in my life. Like to ask men for pads or someone to bring pads, or even for me to use my old underwear and fold it and use. And for me, like I was like, at that time I was maybe 25-year-old, you know. And then he started to hit me. And one time I had my phone, and one of the guy in the house texted me and said to me, if you need any pad, you let me know. But then the thing is, because I had my phone and he was getting me the credit, because I was looking for job as well to ring. So he was getting me credit. So he thought he had the rights to own my phone, that he owns my phone and he will look with who I talk to.
Oh my
So
God.
whenever he saw that I have a new phone number on my phone, and especially I was going to the school and there was friends. We were not really friends because we were in groups doing assignment together. So we had to have phone number that we contact each other. And every time he see a new number on my phone, he just break my phone with a SIM card as well. But then he will still, like he break one with a SIM card and then he bring another small phone with a SIM card. From November until February, he must have changed at least 25 phone, 25 numbers, you know. And then he said to me, oh, then he started to be controlling. Oh, you can't go to
Mina,
school.
in all
Yeah.
that time that you're telling me, you were going through this so much of hardships. How were you feeling within yourself? Were you crying? Were you frustrated? What were your emotions? What were your personal struggles while dealing with all this?
Yeah, it was hard. Sometime I was thinking like, wish I never came, because the life, even how it was in my country, like even how it was when I got married second time, it was only, it was like the problem that I was facing at home at that time. I felt that the problem I was facing at home, it was nothing like what I'm facing here with strangers,
Mm,
with men, with strange people, like, you know, and it's in a strange country. I felt like it was better in my country that facing that with my mother-in-law, because
yeah.
somehow I've got used to it, having a shower quickly, getting up early, eat whatever you get, do the
Mm-hmm.
cleaning. And I was doing cleaning only for my mother-in-law, not for 7 men, not for 2 kids, you know. So it was worse. And then he as well, because I had the flight ticket that I got, it was a return flight ticket. It wasn't a flight ticket that one way. It was a return flight ticket that I had a 1 year that I can come back home. But then the guy in the house, he ripped it. You know, he ripped the, you know, when you get the flight ticket, the paper.
Yes,
He
yes.
ripped it and he took my passport, and he kept my passport with him, that I didn't have passport. And when I started to go to school, he would drop me to school and bring me back, just because he felt, maybe because he got someone now to be able to cook, clean, and then he thought that he owns me, you know, and then he would be hitting me and all. But
And
then
how long did that
finally,
last?
it was middle of November, because I came to Ireland 8th of November, but then I moved to him after 3 days. So I was with him around 15th of November until February. So November, December, January, 4 months. It was
And
like
then
that
how
for
did you
four
leave
months
in February? How did
because
you
I
get
got
out
a
of it?
job. I got a
Ah,
job,
okay.
and I didn't have laptop at that time, and I didn't have a smartphone because he broke my smartphone. So then he was buying me the smartphone. So his son, who was 13 years old, he had a laptop, and I was looking for a job on that laptop. And that's how the son, who was 13 years old, he told me, because I never touch a laptop in my country. I did went for a course maybe for 3 weeks, but that's just in a place. But for myself, I didn't have a laptop for myself, like, and I had no clue how to use computer and laptop. So he taught me how to open an email. He opened an email for me, and then he taught me how to look for job. And then finally, I got a living carer. So I was minding a 90-year-old man in his own
Okay.
house.
Okay.
So when I left his place in February, and I went to that job. So I felt so relieved that I got away. Now I'm living with
Right.
a 90, and the man was 90 years old, and I had to look after him. I had no rent to pay, I had no bill, I had no food, nothing to pay, I had no expenses whatsoever, and I was still getting 500 euro a week. And I'm
Wow.
saying I was getting 500 euro a week, and that was like coming from hell. Now I'm in paradise, like I have a place, and the man I was looking after, he had 5 daughters, and all of them was very, very nice. But then after a week, that guy came back, because when I got the job and I was supposed to come for interview, I had no clue where to go. And I didn't have the smartphone. I didn't know that you can Google map or anything. So I had no clue where to go. So I had to say to him, look,
Mina,
I got a job.
where in all this picture, where was your husband number 2?
Oh, he was in my country.
And he was okay with the arrangement that you just left him and
I remember he did call me, when I left him on a Saturday, he did call me and he said, please come back, I'm sorry. But I was thinking he wasn't thinking about me, he was thinking because I took his money. But at that time he didn't, because when I was with him, I was working with him. I worked with him for 5 years. Then I left the job and I went for another job. And then he came to my parents and asked for my hand to, like, in marriage, But we never had a money issue with him. I never had money issue. He even put, one day he put 150,000 in my account, and he said, if you want to get a house, put the money as deposit and things like that. I never had money issue with him. But because I think I took a huge amount of money then, at that time it was like 300,000. That's a lot of money, for me to come here. So he did ring me and he said to me, oh, I'm sorry, please come back. And I said, I'm not coming back. I said, I did take your money, but you're the one I had a good job. I was getting paid well. You're the one who made me stop working. And then now you don't take my son. So then he was
and you
okay.
didn't have any kids from him?
No.
Okay.
I had only one son from my first marriage. And then I remember when I came here, he went to my mother one day and he fight with my mother that, oh, your daughter was this, your daughter was that. She took my money, she steal my money. I'm going to get her arrested and things like that. All this with my mother one time. But then he was gone. He was okay. But then when I was in that house with them guys, when I was having all this trouble, one day I rang him. And I said to him, I want to come back because I didn't know what to do,
Right,
and I was,
right, of course.
yeah, and then, like, my second husband, he never raised his hand on me anyway. The only problem with him, I knew him for 5 years. We did get along very well. But when we got married, he just kind of used me because he wanted me for his mother. He wasn't really in love with me. So I rang him and I said to him, I'm having trouble here. And I told him everything that happened. And then I said to him, I came here and as a student, and I'm supposed to pay the school as well. And now I don't have any money. I don't know what to do. And in a way, I don't know why, but he wasn't angry. And he said to me, look, it's okay. Whatever happened already happened. I'll send you the money to pay your school, which he did send me 1,000 euro, and he did send me 1,000 euro. And he said to me, look, you pay your school and study. And then he said to me, would you come back one day? And I said, I won't, because what you did to me was wrong, But he did say to me, I know I was stressed at that time. I didn't know what to do. But, I believe when I leave something, I don't go back. Because I didn't do that to go back, But then again, that's it with him. And then we did talk maybe 2 times, 3 times on the phone, but just hi, how are you, and this. But then that's it. That was the first year. I think it was not in 2008, but in 2009. But we've talked on a few times, and then that's it. And I say, well, I already came here and I already got a job, and I will leave here. I'm not going to come back. You can do your life, you know, because I didn't want to go back in that state. Because if I go back, it means that I will never be able to leave again, even whatever he
Mm.
does, you know.
Right, right,
So
right. So you were
because
smart, yeah.
in that way, I start to, you know, but I wasn't really
Right.
smart, but I knew because
No,
if
you
I do
were. Mm.
if I do go back to him, that's mean if he does whatever he wants again or leave me
Right.
with his money again, I won't be able because he will not leave any money at home either for me to come back.
Hmm.
So anyway, so that was it. And then when I got the job here, after a week, the guy who I was living with, the one who was abusive, he came to the job. And then he said to me, "Oh, you got a job? How much money you are getting?" Because you see, when he had my passport, he had my bank card as well. I didn't had anything. And when I
Mm.
moved here, he didn't give me my passport. He didn't give me my bank card or anything. So he must have checked my bank because, you know, like I didn't have money in my bank because I wasn't working.
Mm.
But when I got paid, he must have checked my bank account and then he saw that I got money. And then he said, "Oh, you're getting 500 euro every week." So then I said to him, "Well, it's time for you to give me my passport and my bank card back." And he said to me, "I'm not going to give it to you. If you need money, I'll give it. I will give you like if I get 500 euro, he will give me 100 euro because I had to send money home for my son.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't give me all the money." Then I said, "Well, if you don't, I'm going to go to the daughter, to the man's daughter, and tell them." So then he said to me, "I'm here." I think he was here in Ireland for 5 years when I was here only for a few months. So he said to me, "Ireland is a Catholic country, and here they are very religious. The people in Ireland, because I didn't have a clue about Ireland and its people anyway." So he said to me, "Here in Ireland, everyone is Catholic, very religious, and I'm a Catholic as well." He was, I'm not. I'm a Hindu, but he was a
Mm.
Catholic. So he said to me, "I'm a Catholic, you are not. They will believe me, they will not believe you." And if I and Irish people doesn't like to employ anybody who will bring trouble in the house, you know. So he said to
Mm.
me, so then he said to me, "You're getting big headed now, you know, that you got a job. Now
Mm.
you're big headed because you have your own money." He said to me, "Do you want me to make you lose your job and come back and live with me?" Because he knew at that time I had nowhere to go and I got a place to be in, a new job, like, you know. So then I had to let him because for me, again, I start to think it's much better that he take the money, even though he's giving me 100 euro every week. It's
Mm.
okay, he take the money, as long as I
Right.
don't have to go back in that house to look after
Mm.
7 men, to cook and clean and get beaten up, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
so I let him take the money. I think I got the job in February, and this been like that until December. So February till December, he took all my wages that I got, but he was giving me 100 euro because he knew that I had no bills, I had no rent, I didn't have any food to buy. Only things I would need is like bus ticket, which might be 20 euro a week. So I would have 80 euro extra, which I will send for my son 50. I still have 30 euro. That is loads of money for me. And I don't have rent, but he has rent. So he has expenses I don't have. So February until December, he took all my money, and imagine like weekly 400 euro. That was 1,200 euro every month, like, you
Right.
know.
Right. Right.
So not even 1,200. So 400 times 4, 1,600. That's the money he
Wow.
was taking from me. But for me, it
Mm.
was okay because I let him, you know, because for me,
Mm.
I didn't want to go back in that house, getting beaten up, getting abused, getting my phone breaking up all the
Right.
time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then actually, it was end of November because I was still going to school. I was doing a pre-nursing then. I started to
Okay.
study pre-nursing, and I was going to school every day at 2 o'clock. Like that's the
Okay.
break I had from the job, 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So I would be going to school at that time. So my kid's father now, he was a bus driver. And that week, when I was going to school, he was driving the bus every single day. So it was his shift that week, 2 o'clock when I'm going to school, because it was the only time I have to leave the house
Okay.
after the lunch. So he was the one who was driving the bus, and he was Asian because he was from Sri Lanka and looked
Okay.
like us, you know. So then first day, third day, and then normally here when you get on the bus, you will say hello, how are you? And even when you're getting off, you will come in front of the door before you get up, and then he will say, hi, how are you, where are you from? So then I start to talk to him, and then we were talking like every day when I saw him. And then the Friday, he said to me, I'm not going to do the same shift next week, but you can have my phone number, which I just took it. So when I took his phone number, and then we started to text each other, and then he said to me, would you like to meet for a coffee after school? Because like he would be on his break, because his break where his garage is for the bus and my school was exactly the same road,
Gotcha. Okay.
So then I said, okay. And then we went for a coffee, and then he was asking me, how did I come to Ireland? Normally just introducing ourselves, So at the same time, like the other guys was ringing me, So then I said to him, because I think we didn't, like when I saw him on the bus for the first week, we get to know each other. But then after a week, like on the Friday when he gave me the phone number, we chat maybe for a week or two. Then we went for a coffee, So it was kind of like we were chatting on the phone, and I was getting used to him as well talking. So then he said to me, I said to him, I have some problems going on since I came, and I told him everything.
Okay.
And then he said,
the whole story.
I told him everything that happened when I came to Ireland, and what is this guy doing. And then he said to me, oh my God, how can you be so, well, in a way he said to me like a fool or stupid, He said, how can you give your money to people? And then he said to me himself that the money that he took from you, 800 euros, that was a lot for you to stay with him for 4 months. So he said, like, suppose. Then I said, what can I do? Because I said to him, if I will get that money or my bank card from him, he will make me lose a job. And if I do lose a job, if he does come there and make a drama, of course, the people will say the safety of our father is come first, because the daughter wasn't living there. I was alone with the man. And I say, how can I let him come and make a drama? I will lose a job and have to go back to him because I don't know anyone here.
Right.
But then he said to me, why just stop giving him the money? Go to the bank. And he told me that I can go to the bank and cancel my cards and get a new one. And I didn't know at that time that I can do that.
Oh, okay.
So he said to me, go to the bank, cancel this card, say it's lost, and then get a new one. And that's what I did. That was end of November. So then it was this guy was ringing me, and like start to abusing me, threatening me, and he did come and pressing the bell in the door, but the man was not he had some disability that he was using a walking stick to walk. So normally anybody ring the bell, he don't go and answer, never answer. But this guy will come at night time to ring the bell, but I already put him in the bed. So I just said to him, do whatever you want. I'm not scared of you anymore. And that is because my ex now, whoever it is now, my ex, my kid's father, he told me to do that. And then after that, he said to me, change your SIM card, because I told him, look, he's keep on ringing me, So he said to me, change your SIM card. So which I did. And that happened on the 15th of December. This guy came back to the workplace. And I opened the door and I said to him, if you don't go now, I'm going to ring the guards, But he was a little bit drunk, and he dragged me and he started to beat me up. And it was around 7 o'clock at night time. And I already put the elder man to bed, the guy I was minding. I was looking after, I put him to bed. But when this one is coming and ringing the bell, the guy saying to me, somebody's ringing the bell there. So I said, okay, I'll go and see. But then I just said to him, because we had a phone that we answer, we don't open the door. So he keep ringing the bell. So I answer the phone and I say, if you don't go, I'm going to ring during the guards. Then he said, no, I bought your passport. Come and get it. So when I opened the door, I didn't know he was drunk. So he dragged me and beat me up. But where the man was sleeping at nighttime, he wouldn't hear anything because he was at the back upstairs and I was downstairs. So he didn't hear anything. And this guy really hit me so much. And he was drunk. He really beat me up, had bruises everywhere. And that night, was gone. And then the next morning, because he broke my phone again, he took my SIM card and went. So I couldn't do anything at night time.
And he didn't give you your passport?
No, he didn't give me my passport. And in the morning when I woke up, I just lied to the man because, like he was an older person and he would not come and look into my face because I had short hair as well. So I just I used the phone line and I rang my kid's dad and I said to him like that what happened. So he said to me, just come to town. Like just make an excuse and come to town. And he said to me at that time, I will meet you at that place because I didn't have a mobile phone. So then I did come. I said to the man, I'm going to the doctor and I will be back soon. So I went to town and, like I think because our skin color, when you get beaten up, the bruise doesn't come straight away. You don't see it, because normally the bruise will be red. With our skin color, you don't really see it. But then after a day or two, then it become black and blue, So then when I went to meet my kid's father in town, and then he said to me, you have to go to the guard station, to the police. And I said, like, for what? And then he said to me, if you don't go, this guy will never stop. And I was scared to go to the guard because we never did that. My father used to beat my mother so much, but my mother would barely go to the police station unless she, So then I said no. And then he said to me, if you don't go, he's not going to stop. So then I said, okay. So then he took me he said, okay, let's go to the police station, which I went. And when I went, I told them everything that happened and all. And the guards, the police was very good. And they said, okay, whatever has happened wasn't supposed to happen and it's not allowed. So they went and arrested him, and they arrested him. But I did get my passport back. And when they arrested him, he was locked. And then they said to me that I have to go through trial. And that was I wasn't expecting that. And then I said, I can't do that. I'm not going to court because I never been in court, fighting case and things like that. And I said, how do I do that? And then my kid's dad was saying to me, you have to, because for what he did for a whole year, more than a year, nearly a whole year, and taking all your money, 1,600 every month for so many months. And that's a lot of money, and beating you as well. And what he did in his house, everything, he was very cruel. So then we went for that was 2009 when that happened. And then 2010, the case was open. And I didn't have a clue again how a court case is going to be. For me, it was just go to court, And the police was there was few of them involved, the police. And then they said to me, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. But it's easy to say you'll be fine when you're not going through it,
Right.
At the time. But when I went for the court, it was a big court case, and it was we had juries as well. There was 12 juries, and it lasted 7 days. And for me to go through the trial for 7 days, going in the witness box, answering the question, the defense lawyer, the question, the dirty question, the amount of crazy questions. I remember one day I just broke down and I started to cry. I couldn't, because I have never faced things like that. I never been through things like that. So I couldn't take it. And I started to break and I started crying, and the judge has to say, okay, take her and go out. And when she calmed down, and the court had to stop and wait for me because I couldn't take it. There was too much. It was too much coming in one go, because the defense lawyer tried to find your background as well. And then here the people has no mindset as Asian in my country. So he brought on the table in front of the judge and the 12 juries that I was a married woman, that I couldn't stay with a man. Then I left one man, got married to the second man, and then came to Ireland, the third man. So in a way, he kind of tarnished my character,
Right,
so there was loads of dirt thrown at me. I was that type of woman, this type of woman. And sometimes they question you, did he ever do this to you? Did he ever do that? And you have to tell. And for me, Asian woman, it's kind of like a taboo. We don't talk about personal things.
Yes.
And for me to talk about this in front of 12 juries, a judge and the people, it was kind of a private court trial, but there were still the guards there. There was the solicitors there. There was himself, the guys there, and there was still a journalist there. But the thing is, like, to talk in front of so many people about our personal things,
Life,
like, even
right.
like, when I was getting my period, at that time, now I can open and just talk, but at that
Mm.
time it was hard, and that went 7 days, and it was a hard things to happen. But
Mm.
then after 7 days, he did get sentenced for 2 years. He got 5 years, but then
Okay.
they do have suspended years, like, So altogether, I think he did 2.5 years in prison.
Okay.
But that was in 2010. But then he appealed because they are allowed to appeal their case. So
Okay.
then he appealed his case, where the trial begins again. You know.
Oh.
So 2010, I already went through a 7 days trial. And then when he was sentenced for 5 years, but then got 2.5 years suspended. So he didn't accept it. So he had the chance to appeal for it.
Okay.
You know? So then he appealed. So when he appealed in 2011, I had to go court again, start through the beginning again. And like, I couldn't, like, even though I say I couldn't, but I had to do it. I had no
Mm-hmm.
choice. I had to go through it. So in
Right.
2011, I went through it again. And at that time, I wasn't as weak as I was. I was
Mm.
able to talk for myself, talk back to the solicitor as well. And the second
Mm.
time I said, like, because I
You
think what
had your
I've been
power
through,
now.
I start to get it, and I
Mm.
start to be able to talk for myself. And
Right.
I remember that the second time for the trial was like, everyone was like, "Oh my God, is that you?" But I wasn't
Yeah.
that strong, but I was able to stand on my, like, for myself and talk back to
Self.
the defense lawyer,
Hmm.
you know. But
Right.
then at the end of the trial, but the judge didn't, like, there was juries as well, and they didn't reduce it. He still had to go to prison for 2.5 years. But I
Okay.
remember end of the day when the court was finished, and he was the same defense lawyer, and he said to me, "Wow, well done to you, but it's my job." I wanted to say to him, like, "I don't care your job, but what you did to me." I wanted, because I was so angry with him for the amount of questions he had questioned me, like, you know. But he
Right.
did say to me, end of the day, like, he said, like, "I'm proud of you, well done, but it was my job." I didn't I hate him at that time. I didn't want to look at him anyway. So then, through that trial now, my kid's dad was with me because he was a witness, because he was the one who brought me to the guards, to the police, and he was there, and he knew, because he was the only person in Ireland that I have confessed what I was going through. I have opened, like, talked to him. So in the boat trial, he was with me. And to be honest, like, he was the only person now at that time that I had in my life supporting me through the court, supporting me, like, in that moment that I was going through. So then at that time, like, we start to build up a relationship together, because I felt like I
Mm.
was being supported and he was there for me. But the bad thing is, like, he never told me he was married himself. When
Oh.
he never told me he was married, when I was talking to him, we were always, like, meeting in town when he's working, or when he's on his break, and we be talking. But when he go home, we don't really tell, because he was doing the shift. When he go home, he sleep. So one day I called him, and I heard, like, background noise. So I said to him, "With who do you live?" So he said to me, "I live with my auntie and my two nieces." But in fact, it was his wife and his two daughters. But he didn't tell me that. He said, "I live with my auntie and my two nieces." And I said, "Okay." But when we went for the second trial, that was in 2011, when he was called in the witness box and doing the questioning again, then I found out he was married.
Ooh.
And when I found out, I was just like, again, I
Shocked.
got shocked. And I was like, "What?" Because I
Right.
never, like, I was living near the town, near the city. He was working in the city, but he wasn't living in Dublin. He was living just on the border of Dublin, which was around 50 minutes away from Dublin, like, from
Okay.
where we live.
Okay. Okay.
So then when I asked him after that, and because he used to be coming to me, we used to be meeting each other, going, like, we already started a relationship, and that
Hmm.
we were like, maybe a year already. And
Mm-hmm.
there was no point for me to believe that he was married, because never had a ring. He never had any call when I was with him. I couldn't see anything, But then when I said to him, he said to me, "Oh, I didn't want to tell you because you were going through hard time yourself. And me and my wife, we do live in the same house, but we are not together because they have a mortgage together and there's two children involved. So they do live in the same house, but they're not together." And I said, like, how is this possible? Like one woman and husband and wife live in the same house. And he said to me, "You don't know. In Europe, this is allowed. Because in our country, if you are not in a relationship with your husband, you get separated, you know. But he said to me, in Europe, this is allowed. Even you are not together, you live in the same house because you have kids and you have mortgage together." So and I said to him, like, "I can't believe you. I need to ask your wife." So then that's when I went and met her, and I asked and I talked to her, and then she said to me, yes. She said, "We have fallen out. We are not together. We do live in the house, but because we have mortgage, because you know in Dublin, in Ireland, rent is very expensive. So, and both of them has to pay the mortgage. So it wasn't for him to go and rent, pay like 800 euro, and then he has to pay mortgage. So I understand, and I said okay. But then I was like, it's still like, it's not right. But I did understand he had two. At that time, he has two daughters. His daughter was 2.5-year-old, and the other was 10-year-old. So I said, okay. And then I left my job as well, and I got another job. I got a new job. I was working in a nursing home care. I was minding older people. So when I got a job, and I said to him, like, why do we not move together? That I will kind of like pay the rent and help, while you can help paying half of the rent, and then you can help here as well. So he said to me, okay. So we moved together in 2000. Like we were together, but we moved in 2012. We moved together. We started to live together. But with his ex-wife, me and her, we had a good relationship. Like, we did get along with each other. And she was going through like postnatal depression from having her daughter. But she would be like, she wanted me to look after her children, because she would be ringing me and say, "Oh, I can't with them. They are naughty. They are this. They are that. I can't." She'd be keep. And then I used to have the children with me, because she used to work Wednesday and Saturday, Sunday. So Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, the kids will be with me. And then they don't want to go. They want to stay with me, because I would be cooking for them, taking them to the park when the mother wouldn't. And the fact is, like, she didn't want the responsibility. And she said to me, like, I don't like the responsibility to be like a family type, like, So I said, okay. And then in 2013, both kids came to live with me. Like the other one was maybe 3. Yeah, she was 3 or something. No, she was 5, I think, when she came to live with me. And they came to live with me 2013 until 2017, like 4 years. But I was minding them, like, But then with the dad as well, like when we start to be together, little arguments, little bit that, then he started to raise his hand on me. He started hitting me again. And I was like, you can't do that. You knew like what I've been through, and you are the one who supported me at that time when I needed help, when I needed support. And you were there. Now, how can you do that to me now?
Like, exactly.
And he would be like, "Oh, you are a woman, behave like a woman. You don't talk loud to a man." Because sometimes, like, every couple have arguments,
Right.
So for him, he used to believe that he has a right to say things to me, and I'm not allowed to say anything, and he can do whatever he wants. And I got pregnant in 2013. And my son was born in 2013. So when I had my son, I had his 2 daughters live with me as well. So then it was like, just in one moment, I got a huge responsibility to mind his kids, to take them to school. And then I start to feel like I have a son myself now. I have a baby. And the mother doesn't work every day. She works only Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday. But she can help the other day, like, But she wouldn't. She wouldn't. Like, what? She come to my place to visit her kids. Then she expect me to feed her as well, because when I'm cooking dinner, she waits until dinner time. Then she eats in my house, and then she goes. And then she was coming all the time. She was coming all the time. And I said, like, I didn't say it to her, but I said to my ex, to the kid's father, I said, like, why would she be coming here every day now? She didn't want the kids, you know?
Mm.
And then it started, I can't say anything. Because if I say anything, he will be swearing at me. He'll be insulting me and saying, oh, she's a mother, she's a mother. But then as the time goes, she started to come home. And then when I go, she waits for me to go shop because I used to buy like veg every day because we had a shop nearby. I wouldn't do
Okay.
shopping, you know. So she always, like, she is in the lounge with the kids. But every time I go to the shop, when I come back, she's upstairs in the room with him. And I was like, what's going on?
Oh my
You know, so
gosh.
I
Yeah.
like, what's going on? And that's
Mm.
like he start to hit me, and then he will start to hit me. He will. I remember one.
Unbelievable. It's so
Mm,
unbelievable. Somebody who can support you, take care of you, go all the way for you, and that person turns out to be the
and then
exact
do that.
person you were running from.
Yes, exactly. And then I was like, I just can't believe it. You know,
Mm.
and then when I said, one day I said to him, like, I want to go because there was a Titanic movie came, you know, I get, like, the
Mm.
Titanic movie was in the cinema. So I said, I want to go and watch the movie. Can we go? And then he said, yes. And then he rang her and he said, would you like to come? And I was like, I asked you to go to watch movie, me and you. Why she will have to come? And
Mm.
what's her to do with us? And
Mm.
then that day, he, like, I couldn't say, if I say one word from my mouth, he just beat me up for no reason. Like, I don't know if you see, I have a mark on my forehead. He threw
Yeah,
the
I
phone
can
at
see.
me. He threw the phone at me and split my forehead and like blood pouring. Two times he punched me on my nose, blood pouring. It was just a river blood. And my son, like now, Nalin was already born, and he has witnessed all that. And his two daughters was living with me. They have witnessed so many violence. One day, I don't know what happened. I wasn't feeling great. You know,
Mm.
like he was a person. He doesn't know when are you sad, when are you angry, when are you sick. Because even
Mm.
if I'm sick, he believes
Mm.
you still have to get up and cook and clean. If you stay in bed, he will say, oh, you're lazy, you know?
Mm.
And he
Mm.
would never be like helping or doing anything. Like I had three kids at that time, like his two daughters. He'll never help. I have to get up. And I remember when Nalin was born, when my son was born, I came home from the hospital and just put the child there and start cooking for him and his kids. And while he's in bed, and I just came from hospital, there was no rest, there was nothing.
Mm.
And then when my son was born, I was breastfeeding, so I was kind of like tired. I started to get tired and exhausted, you know.
Mm. Yeah.
But then when I was breastfeeding, he will beat me up. You won't believe it, but one day I had my son in my hand and breastfeeding, and he come and gave me a good slap. He said to me, "This is all an excuse," because the nurse said to me, because it was my first time. I had my son in my country. I never breastfed. So
Mm.
my son here, when he was born, the nurse said to me that you have to breastfeed on demand, like because breastfeeding you have to breastfeed all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. But then he came and gave me a slap and said to me that, oh, this is an excuse, you know, and it's just like I'm looking for excuse not to engage in the house, not to cook, not to clean, not to spend time with him. He started to get jealous that I'm all day with my son, all day with my son. So he started to hit me. And one day I was tired and he said to me, why the face is so moody like that? I said, I'm not moody. I'm not moody, I'm just tired. He said, what
Mm.
tired? What do you do here in the house? Anyway, cook a little bit food for, if you have to cook for yourself, it's not a big deal, cook for another few people because it was him and it was his two daughters, you know. And then I said,
Mm.
but I still have to, and the school wasn't near and there was no buses going to the school. It was like 45 minutes walk. And in the morning, I
Mm.
have to stick, even he's home, sleeping on the bed. I still have to get up, take his kids, walk 45 minutes, pushing the buggy. And he has a car. He will not take them to school. I have to walk to the school. And as soon as I come, leave Nalin in the buggy, make him a coffee. As soon as you
Mm.
come in the house, you have to make a coffee and go give him in the bed. And while he's having his coffee, you have to make something. And he's not a person who will eat Weetabix or cereal. You have to make something, or omelette, or tuna salad, or bread, whatever he has to eat like that. And every time he will just hit me all the time. Many times he hit me and I have to run from the house and run to my neighbor. And my neighbor will see so much blood and they will say,
Mm.
Mina, what you think you're doing? You
Mm.
know? And it's like, and then he said to me, like when I said to him, because it was a couple, the next door neighbor, and then he said to me, why do you live with him? And I said, where will I go? Where will I go from all that I have like happened in my life?
Been through, yeah.
And he was a guy like my kid's father won't let me talk to my neighbor. Like because I had his work roster, and I know what time, like he had the work roster for the whole year. So I know for the whole year what time he start, what time he finish. So if I know he finished work at 5 o'clock and he will be home for 5:30, I have to be in the house. I can't be standing outside. Because one day he came home early, and I was outside at the door while Nalin was running in the yard, and I had my neighbor at the side, and he said he was so angry, and he came in and he believed when I talk to someone, I'm talking about him. Like I have nothing else to talk, you know? So I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. Now, if he's home and I'm outside and somebody say hi to me, I'm scared to say hello, you know? It was that, yeah, it was that hard. Like I wasn't allowed. I didn't have friends. I didn't have like, it's the same like what happened with the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He was doing the same. You know, he was doing the same. One day he bought because I was doing home care. So for me, when I was doing home care, when I go to work, when I come home, work life is over. You're not supposed to talk with friends. You're not supposed, you go to work, whoever you see there, you talk there. When you come home, you have nothing to do with the outside world, you know? So then, one day he bought, there's a chip that he bought and put in his computer, and he took my phone and he plugged my phone to that computer and put that chip, and then he saw how many number I text, how many call. He doesn't get the text, but he get the numbers, you know, and then he check on my phone, is that amount of text there? And there was not, because I had a friend from my country now, from Mauritius, and I was telling her what I'm going through and what's happening, you know, but then I have to delete it, you know. And then he said to me, why did you talk with her? Where is all that text? Because I think there was like 5,000 texts, but 5,000 texts, it wasn't talking. You know, like sometimes when friends talk to friends, we send emojis.
Yes,
we send, you know, we always send emojis. And I used to do that. And then he said to me, the computer say here, and he said to me, come here, fucking break your head now, like that, with the teeth like that. He said, come here, fucking break your teeth now, show me. The computer say 500 text, your phone say I need that much, 5,000, and your phone say I need, where's the other text? You talk about me. And he beat me up, and the next day was my birthday. He beat me up. And then I was like, it was just, and then the next day, his ex came, his wife came with the kids, and trying to celebrate my birthday when I have bruises everywhere on my face. And you have to smile and cut the cake. You can't be moody. You are not allowed to be moody. You are not allowed to be angry. You are not allowed to be tired. He felt like you always have to smile. When he's here, you have to pretend whatever. That's he's not his problem. You have to always smile. He can't see you.
Psychopath, right? He worked into when you were in trouble. He came to you. He helped you. Went all the way to the court, supported you. Could have possibly believed that he would turn out to be this monster.
I couldn't. So I had the police now that I went with me through the court case. He was the one. He was a detective sergeant, and he was the one that handled my case for 2 years. And we were having because most of the time I had to go to the police station to give statement. And finally I did because for my job he gave me reference, you know. And then one day he texted me and asked me, and then I said to him, I'm with him. And then he said to me, I just can't believe it, you know. And then he said to me for all that help, he helped me, support me, brought me to the police to fight against someone, and today he's doing the same. But then when
how long were you with him?
I was with him 2000. Well, I met him in 2009, but I started to live with him in 2012. So we lived together 2012 until 2017. So 5 years we lived together.
And do you have one kid?
Two.
Okay.
I have. Okay. When my son was 1 year old, he got worse. When my son was born, he got worse because he started to see that I was getting too tired all the time. Because, you know, before I was just on myself. I was single. I had no kids. I had his kids when I was pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant when he brought his kids in my life to live together. So
Right.
when my son was born, it was like lots of pressure. I was getting tired, I was getting exhausted, not sleeping. You know, when you have a child, and my son was very hard at night time. You
Okay.
know, when my son was born, he didn't like him at all. He didn't like him because his two daughter mother is Irish and they are really white skin, really, really white, like real white, you know, like not even
Okay.
peach, not even rosy. Their
Yeah.
skin are like just white. But when my
Okay.
son was born, he was very dark.
Hmm.
My son was darker than me, you know, but my ex is little bit darker than me. But my son was like took both of our colors and he was really dark. He didn't
Okay.
like him at all since the day he was born, and
Oh
he
my
would
God.
not even look at him. He wouldn't. And one day in front of his kids, he said to me, "What is this brown kids here and white kids here? What people will say?" And I was like, and I said to him, "But I'm not white. You are not white. I'm not going to get white kids." But he said,
Right.
"How did I?" He has white kids because maybe his ex-wife genes is stronger than him. That's why his both
Right.
daughters are very, very, very white, like you know.
Okay.
And he didn't like. And when I came from hospital with Nalin was a child that he will sleep during the day, but he will not sleep at night time. And
Hmm.
we had only 2 bedroom, and 1 bedroom was for the two daughters, and 1 bedroom was for me and him and Nalin. So Nalin was sleeping with us on the bed, and we didn't have a space on the bed in the room to put a cot. So Nalin was sleeping with us. And at night time, if Nalin started to cry, he would say, "What the fuck?" Like that. And he would be screaming. He said, "I have to go to work and I can't sleep. These kids, what's wrong? What the fuck?" And I was like, I started to get scared because in case he hit me again, you know, so I have to
Hmm.
quickly take Nalin and go down. And
Gosh,
every
you're
day was
walking
like
on
that.
eggshells all the time, always.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I was
Your
like, I
emotions were
have to be
suppressed. You
careful.
couldn't be yourself. Yeah.
I have to think what to talk. I have to think.
Somebody's asking, is he in prison now?
He's not in prison. No, he
Oh
didn't.
my goodness.
Jesus, no, he
Oh
didn't.
my.
But that's the thing. And then every day, like when Nalin wake up, Nalin will be sleeping and then he wake up around 11 o'clock at night. So as
Hmm.
soon as Nalin wake up, before he start crying, I come downstairs. You know, I take Nalin and come downstairs for him to sleep. So that's been happening every single day because Nalin was even 3 months old. He was like that. He would be crying at night time. So then he got an excuse that I take Nalin away from him. I don't want him to see Nalin. I don't want him to see his kids. I don't want him to see his child. But you don't want him. You don't like him. You say he's
Right.
brown.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want him. When he cries, you swear, you insult me, you abuse me. And then one day he said to me, "I have never seen a shit mother like you in the whole world. You're a piece of shit," because I was breastfeeding him. And he said to me, "I have never seen a mother breastfeeding a child like that. What do you think you are? You're a piece of shit. You're a shit mother." And I was feeding him, like, you know, and I was like, and for me to get such an abuse. So it went like that. It was a lot going on. And one day, he was beating me
Somebody's
up and he
asking,
was,
does he know where you are at?
yes, he does because he has access to his children. He comes and take his children once a week, every
I think
week,
they're
because he has
asking
a,
because of your safety. Are you safe? You're sharing this.
I,
So
yes, I am, because
okay.
I have the safety order from the court,
Okay,
and
good.
now he's not allowed to even talk to me, you know,
Good. Okay.
because end of the day I had to go to the court again for him because, you know, the way he was doing, because I remember there was one time he was very angry and he was beating me up, and then he just threw me in the bed and he started to strangle me. And his daughter at that time, because his daughter was living with me, so his daughter at that time was 15-year-old, and then she came and pushed him away, and then she said like, because I think at that time I didn't understand anything what's going on, because you
Mm.
know it is a kind when somebody try to hit you or try to strangle, it's like your subconscious is gone. Because I remember
Yeah.
when he strangled me, my daughter, like my stepdaughter said to me that she could see my eyes was rolling when she came
Mm.
and pushed him away from me. And she always used to say to me, "Mina," and I know if at that time she didn't come, I would have been dead, you know, because she did say like she could see my eyes rolling, and she could see the only part, the white part, because he was strangling me, and he had like, I was on the bed and he had like both of his hand on my neck and strangled me. you know. But even that, like I'm telling you, I didn't leave. I stayed, because where will I go? You know, I didn't know where to go. But then the more that my neighbors start to talk to me and say to me, like, look, Mina, there's women's refuge that you can go to, try. So then my manager, now where I used to work, she took me to a women's refuge. And then
Okay.
when I went there, I saw it was kind of like it's a huge place, but you don't have your own room. You have to share with other women. And, you know, there's drugs addicts, there's drunks, and those type of women, you know. And then I was like, how can I go and live with people like that? You know? And you have to share a room, you have to share kitchen, you have to share bathroom, and the other parents have kids. They don't have only one, they have 2 or 3 children. And I said, no, I won't go, I can't. Then what came in my mind was, I wish I would have, that time I said it to myself, I wish I had never left my first husband. Because for me, my mother used to say to me that even how a man is, like in my country, like we used to say that even how a man is, when he grow old, he change. Because when
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
you know. So
Just
then
bear
I,
with him, be patient. They'll come
yeah,
around, and then you'll have your freedom, and
yeah.
you have to sacrifice for years and years and go through all the abuse, and eventually they'll be nicer, they'll be calmer.
But again, like I said to you, and that's happened with my mother. My mother went through like
Right, we
15,
spoke about
16
that.
years of abuse, but then after that, my father has changed, you know. And have you personally had any help for this? I did go to counseling.
Yeah,
I
she
did
did.
counseling end of the day. Yeah,
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
And I did heal. I should say I did heal from everything. But
Good.
that's what my mother was saying, that those days, and I start to feel, I wish I never left my husband, even how it was. I wouldn't have to come through all what I went through.
But
If I
went
stayed
through.
with him, you know, I should have stayed. That's why I start to feel I should have stayed. So then when my kid's father started to be this way, I accepted it. And I say, if I didn't leave my first husband, maybe I would be like my mother today. My father would have changed. I would have my family. I didn't have to come through all this. So then I accepted it with him. I said, maybe he will change. Let it be. He will hit me how much he will hit me. He doesn't hit me every day, maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. That's okay. The other 2 days is okay. He's loving, he's caring, you know, we go for a meal, he buy me clothes. Even though he hits me, he's still feeding me, you know. And because I was working and paying the rent. So then when my son was 1.5 years, then he was fighting, you know, he was fighting every single day when my son was born, because he didn't want him, you know. But then
Right.
he said to me that my friend said, like his friend said to him that I had a child just to get paper. You know, there's some Asian woman come to Europe and have a child with a man, and then they get the
Okay.
paper to stay, and then they get maintenance money from the guy as well. So he started to abuse me because of that. He said, "Oh, you Mauritian people came to Ireland just to make kids to get paper. Once you get your paper, you already use me," and lots of abuse, you know.
Oh my
So then
God.
I said to him, if I wanted to use you and have a child just for paper, I would have done it in the first day I met you,
Right.
because
Yeah.
you know I didn't
Right.
have to wait. Because I was with him like 4 years, nearly three and a half years before I got pregnant. So I said, like,
Wow.
I would have, and then even because when my son was born, I got the stamp, like I got the resident permit to stay here. So I said to him, as soon as I got the resident, I should have left you, but I didn't, you know.
Right.
So he said to me, okay, then let's have another child. But
Huh?
yeah, so he said to me, let's have another child. So you can prove to me
Interesting.
that you didn't have Nalin just to get your paper. So have another child. And you know, for me at that time, I was living with him. I had a child with him, and in my mind, he's the man that I'm going to be with. I never think outside of that, you know, because
Right. Right.
and he's 10 years older than me. So I was thinking, he's 10 years older than me. One day he will stop hitting me. One day will be okay. So then I said that's not a problem for me to have another child. I already have one, you know. So he said okay, but then